Wow, Jeff, it's going by fast, right? Lickety split. I'd now like to bring up NAGLREP founder. I'm sorry, I'm thinking Snagglepuss every single time. NAGLREP founder, he even dressed as Snagglepuss this morning. He's all in pink. NAGLREP founder, you know him, you love him. Please welcome Jeff Berger.
Thank you, Alec. It's wonderful to share NAGLREP with you. And thank you, NAGLREP members and partners. It's fantastic to see you here in beautiful Palm Springs. This has been an incredible year. It's been incredible on a variety of fronts, both good and not so good. First off, I think it's absolutely imperative for all of us to realize that the societal gains we have made are being severely challenged today. I guess we all know that 2 steps, or in case of the LGBT community, dozens of steps forward, was bound to hit a speed bump. But I don't think we thought it would be one of those huge potholes that mangle the front end of our cars. And while this has been tough for us, I'm absolutely thrilled with the response of NAGLREP and the entire LGBT community. We're not standing down, and instead continuing the fight, and I salute each and every one of you for that. Thank you. So while the negatives have been hard to stomach, our resolve and desire to move forward has been astounding. In fact, our 10-year anniversary has been the best in NAGLREP history. Our growth has been spectacular. Our rate of new members is up 30% over last year, and acceptance of our organization within the industry has been monumental. For example, NAGLREP was included in some of the most prestigious real estate events of the year: NAR, RISMedia, Realogy Ascend, the T3 Summit, and Inman. And in fact, Inman recognized us as a finalist for its prestigious Innovator Award. We've grown in the size and scope of our partnership program, and we have made incredible strides for the LGBT community. While clearly the previous 9 years were important, and we did great things, this year has been spectacular. We held our first LGBT housing policy summit, which included HRC, SAGE, HUD, NAR, the Congressional LGBT Equality Caucus, and we were joined by 2 United States Congressmen, David Cicilline and Scott Taylor. I watched in awe as 30 NAGLREP members in the midst of a Washington, D.C. blizzard made the rounds of Capitol Hill, meeting with their state officials about inclusion of LGBT protections to the federal fair housing law. And I want to tell you a story. It was in the midst of our Capitol Hill visit that I realized how far we've come. It was time to take a step forward and get the real estate industry to back us. I sent a letter on behalf of NAGLREP members, behalf of all of us, to NAR President Bill Brown and CEO at the time, Dale Stinton, urging them to publicly support us in our fight to eradicate housing discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect. A few days later, I received an email from our friend Fred Underwood at NAR. He asked that I open the attachment, which was a letter that NAR had just written to Congressman Taylor and Schneider. Imagine the pride when I read these words. Dear Representatives Taylor and Schneider, on behalf of the more than 1.2 million members of the National Association of Realtors, thank you for introducing H.R. 1447, the Fair and Equal Housing Act of 2017, which will protect Americans from housing discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. And there I was, scanning through the letter, and saw the words, "The association strongly supports your legislation." NAGLREP, you, me, and our 1,600 plus members made a difference. But we weren't done. We also shared the findings of our first LGBT real estate report, which further increased our awareness within the real estate community and beyond. We increased our public relations efforts with Inman, Riz Media, Real Trends, and even the Huffington Post provided us an opportunity to share our work. We have a monthly newsletter that reaches thousands in the real estate industry and the LGBT community. We are working with major LGBT nonprofits to assist them with their housing objectives. And there is no doubt that this 10th year has been all about you. And hopefully you love our new website that allows you to connect even more effectively with the 75,000 unique visitors that visit our website each month from LGBT homebuyers, sellers, and referring real estate professionals. We want to get you more leads, allow you the opportunity, if you desire, to be the leader in your local LGBT community and be a resource of LGBTs of all ages and income levels who need help with their housing needs from renting to buying. And to get there, we knew we needed a strong chapter program. We had a goal this year to have at least 8 chapters up and running, and we exceeded that goal, and many have kicked it into high gear. And the sky is the limit with this local activation. Our 2017 member survey told us that 80% of you said you want to be involved in local chapters. So let's go. NAGLREP National will support these chapters as they host 4 events a year, including a Pride Month event to showcase the benefits of homeownership to the LGBT community. And none of this could be possible without our chapter leaders. Chapter presidents, if you can please stand. On behalf of all of us, we thank you for your leadership. So if you want to get involved, our chapter liaison, David Cerroti, is hosting a chapter building breakout session today at 4:30. You may also find me here. Call me, email, or text. Our role is absolutely vital. We are the real estate leaders in our communities. I want you to think back for a moment to June 26, 2015. That was the day our good friend and NAGLREP member Jim Obergefell stood outside the Supreme Court as we all celebrated his win in marriage equality. From that very first moment, I thought of how the decision would impact LGBTs far beyond marriage. It would impact everything. Think about it. Marriage often leads to kids, maybe even a second or third, and that leads to the desire, very often, to move out of our LGBT suburban, urban enclaves into suburban America. Potentially, this is a new world for some of us. How will we know if a community is open to having our families? Are the school districts prepared to welcome our children with 2 moms or dads? Will our neighbors welcome us as we hope? And will our children be accepting to our classmates? We may become a move-up buyer and eventually a downsizer, and we will grow old, wanting to live our retirement, and even later with LGBTs who have shared similar lives. And what I've just described is our lives as mature members of the LGBT community. Imagine how much life will be different now for a 16, 17, or 18-year-old kid who can now aspire to marriage and all the joys I just mentioned. How amazing is that? And once we get the Equality Act passed, discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity in housing will be no more. That is so exciting. And I know NAGLREP has an important role to play in the coming years to serve the LGBT community on each housing step in their life's journey. It's why our partners are here. It's why Cleve Jones, Madison Hildebrand, and Congressman Takano is here. It's why CEOs like Gino, Sherry, and Anthony are here. It's why top industry speakers are here, people like Seth and Gary. It's why the Realtor Party is here, and it's why you are here. NAGLREP means something to everyone, and I thank you for everything you do and hope these next 2 days are absolutely amazing for you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's time for a very special recognition. Last November, when the new administration was elected, we immediately jumped into action and launched our policy committee. That led to the creation of one of the signature real estate events this year, the NAGLREP LGBT Housing Policy Summit. Let's take a look.
We are the National Association of Gay and Lesbian Real Estate Professionals, so people really look to us to take this stand.
The advocacy that organizations like NAGLREP do in terms of promoting equality, full equality for the LGBT community is critical, and particularly in the area of housing where there is so much inequality and so much discrimination against our community.
We're going to introduce the Equality Act in the next 2 weeks, and it essentially takes the existing civil rights architecture and just adds the categories of sexual orientation or gender identity to all the other categories of race, gender, ethnic origin, etc.
Make sure that all the rights are continue to be protected, because housing and shelter is something that we all as Americans need and deserve.
So that's why we're here as Wells Fargo is we want to make sure everybody has an opportunity for fair housing and has a chance to achieve the American dream.
Broadly, what the caucus does is try to advance the conversation on LGBT issues in the House of Representatives.
I think that there's a good chance that we might be able to get this thing through, and this is something that I personally don't see as a partisan issue. It's a freedom issue, it's a liberty issue, it's a pursuit of happiness issue.
Discrimination in housing has no place in America, especially against the LGBT community, and our fight's not over, and we're going to take a stand and make sure that fair housing laws do cover everyone in this country, including the LGBT community.
Would members of our policy committee please stand? On behalf of all of us and the LGBT community, we thank you. But if it weren't for one person, NAGLREP would not have made the impact we had. Along with starting his own brokerage this year, one person led our legislative efforts all year on Capitol Hill, including working with the Congressional LGBT Equality Caucus, NAR, CAR, and he was just recently appointed to be NAR President's Liaison to South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to present John Graff with a 2017 NAGLREP Pinnacle Award.
Thank you, Jeff. This is incredible. I mean, I can't convey the, what this means to me. It means a lot, especially given that this is the 10-year anniversary of NAGLREP, and to think that, you know, 10 years ago, Jeff started this because of the frustration that he felt over the fight for marriage equality, and to think that 10 years later, here we are with full marriage equality for our community, it's pretty spectacular. And so it's incredible what NAGLREP has been a part of for the past 10 years. That being said, there's still no more important time for NAGLREP than today. It seems like almost every single day we wake up to news from this administration attacking our friends and our family and our community. And unfortunately, it's not just words from the administration. We were in Washington, D.C. this past March for the Policy Summit, and the very day after we visited Capitol Hill, a homophobic individual tore down a rainbow flag from a member of Congress's office and stomped on it. So if people tell you that the words from this administration are just words and they don't hurt us, just remember that there are people out there who hear those words and they take them to heart and they are motivated to action that's opposed to us. Luckily, though, NAGLREP is still here, and they're still our voice and are really our megaphone for equality. And so even though we've made all these strides in the past 10 years, there's still a lot of work to be done, especially in the fair housing arena. And so on all of your tables, I believe there should be a postcard that says LGBT housing discrimination has no home in America. If you would, write a little note on there. We're going to mail these to your senators. So make sure in the return address spot, put your return address. We'll use that to make sure that it gets to your elected official, and write a message and let them know that fair housing equality is important to you and to your friends and to your family. Finally, I just want to thank Jeff again. I mean, 10 years, incredible. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for all of the NAGLREP members who are here, for all of the work that you do in your communities to spread the importance of equality. And finally, I want to thank the National Association of Realtors. It's important to have friends in high places. They are really great friends in a very high place, and we're lucky to have their support. So thank you again, Jeff. Thank you, everyone. This is really incredible. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
So those postcards, there's a box on the registration table in the expo. Anytime during the event when you have time, simply write a note, whatever you feel like saying to your congressman. Again, just put your return address on it. We'll then find through your zip code your representative and mail it. Okay? That's it, everyone. I wish everyone an amazing conference, and thank you again so much for being out here. Love you.
Jeff. Congratulations, John. Another round of applause.